Yeah, look, I don't like to disappoint anyone, but I'm going to. I'm reached a point now where I just and I sort of saw it coming. I've been putting up a lot of videos from old stuff. I've been deleting my hard drive. I really need to pull back from this channel seriously this time. I know I said I'd gonna give up last time, and I sort of came back and people had a bit of a good natured go at me about it. That was fair enough. So I said I was going to do something. I did something different, so that was all right. But no, it's sort of reached the terminal now. It's critical. I just really can't get into it. And yeah, these videos take a while. And also, like PK said, everyone already knows it's a hoax. I'm sort of just doing it just because, I touched on that. I revisited the Brighton one, and I did Minto. I just wanted to just try and tackle each one. I did have plans to do 3, 4, but the time it takes to do this particular video, it takes a lot of time and effort, and I just can't devote it anymore. Oh, I just really can't. And yeah, so anyway, so just on that, um, just as far as this video goes, there was some disagreement, a difference of opinion as to whether these two idiots with the baseball bat were either part of the script or not part of the script. And PK thinks they were part of the script, and I thought they weren't. But what I like about this channel, and what I'll miss about not coming back here and reading the comments and doing videos, is that everyone's reasonable and they're knowledgeable and they're insightful, and they put forward rational arguments. So if you look at PK's, I'm not going to read through it. People maybe read it, but what he does there is he has a difference of opinion, and in a calm, rational way, just presents his evidence, his interpretation, and some, he makes the observations that are there as well, and puts up some circumstantial evidence, and he's come to his conclusion. And there's a few people that agree with him as well, and some people agree with me, but it's all respectful, and it's all just rational, normal people, just having a conversation. There's no sort of aggro, and look, not even a dislike. It's not like so much, oh, I don't agree with this guy, giving him a dislike. It's just oh yeah, we'll disagree with him, and really every that difference of opinion, first of all, doesn't really matter, and secondly, the it's really hard to prove either way. Like each opinion is just as valid as the other one, because I was thinking about it. Even if all the participants in this had decided their conscience got the better of them, and they thought, oh no, that's it, we're all going to confess, and they did affidavits, so they went through the court system and they said, here's exactly what happened. You'd still go, well, hang on, you guys own the court system and you own everything. This could just be another layer of bullshit. So you can see how far away we are from really knowing the truth of this, the minutiae of these sorts of things. But what they can't deny is that we can already see it's problem, reaction, solution, and there's enough just idiots running around, and the fact the cops didn't do what they would normally do, it's been pointed out by a lot of people. So we know this is a hoax anyway. So that's one thing we do know. But trying to prove little points of difference, even the people that are involved, they don't know a lot of people wouldn't know the full truth. They don't even know what their part was. So yeah, it's, like I said, that what we've just, our difference of opinion is it's not as it's not important anyway, and also you can't really prove it either way. They're just as valid as each other. And I did say I was going to answer whether Jimmy went down Bourke Street. I don't think he went down Bourke Street. First of all, like everyone says, there's no video of him going down there. But look, there's also no video of him going anywhere else. But yeah, there is no video of him going down there. But, um, absence of proof isn't proof of absence. So that's not for me 100% that he didn't go down there. But because I believe that these idiots did affect their timeline, I think there's a chance they may have rerouted him if you're American, somewhere else, because they weren't, and they just ran that scene anyway without him going down there. And the main reason I don't think he went down there is that the one witness that was credible compared to the witnesses they did interview, if you watch what they say, they never say they actually saw Jimmy in his car hitting a particular person. They don't say he hit Natalia, or the girl that ended up being Harkin, or one of those other big fat white beached whale. They never say that. They just say, I saw a car go past. You watch it. And I saw someone go through the air. Through the air was their catchphrase for each one of those. Even Lou the cabbie said it. he said, "Oh, I saw the car come by," but they don't say, "I saw Jimmy in his car." So they can sort of tell the truth, but by implication lie, because they're implying that they're talking about Jimmy. But if you went back on them and said, "Well, I never said it was Jimmy," that's what Hillary Clinton does. Got to be very careful. You've got to watch her words very carefully. So even those witnesses are making sure that they're not actually telling a direct lie; they're just implying their lie. So anyway, but yeah, the most credible witness was PK's son up on he was up on Bourke Street, and around that time, and he only needs to be there around that time. He doesn't have to be there exact time, just around that time, because you would hear either him coming, or see him going by, or see the aftermath. You'd see some evidence. You would have to be there for that log anyway. So as long as you're around there around that time, you would have. And he says it didn't go down there, then pretty much it didn't go down. And also, he's got no incentive to say it didn't go down, because if it did go down, it's the same thing, because it would be doing the same shenanigans as what's going on up here. So instead of proving it's a hoax by saying he didn't see it, he'd be proving it's a hoax by saying, well, he drove about 10 k's an hour near some fat beached whale, and then she jumped in the air and fell down and was screaming, and he could tell it was fake. So he'd be proving it's a hoax whether it went down or it didn't go down. So that's another, he's got no incentive. There's no reason for him to say that it didn't go down. And he's not going to lie for them. We know he's not on their team. He's not going to say, "Oh, I did see it," get on TV and say, "I saw the car go past and it go through the air." We know he didn't do that. So he's the most credible witness that we've got, really. And also, he's PK son, hopefully a bit of and look, he'd be a bit of PK would rub off on him, and he would know not to believe it anyway. Not to believe everything straight away. He'd be tuned, and growing up in PK's house, you'd come out pretty well tuned into, being suspicious of things and to be looking for things, so he'd be doing that anyway. So yeah, that's another reason why I don't think he went down Bourke Street. So yeah, just wanted to quickly finish off with just what this hoax and all of them are about. It's I've really been thinking a lot about it. There's two things they're going to do they've already done it in Greece, but in each country around the world at different points in time, they're going to enact that bail-in. Now, that's going to cause a lot of strife, but that's only the first stage of taking our money, because all that's going to do is move our money from us to our banks, but it's still in country. It's when they go to the global economy and they introduce a global currency that Deutsche Bank is going to crash, and then all our money that was with our banks are just going to disappear overseas. And then it's no longer not with us, not with our banks, but it's gone altogether. So it's a two-step process for taking our money. But it's when the bail-in comes in, and look, if I mention it or not, but yeah, doing more videos, I'm not going to prove to anyone, you're not going to wake anyone up. And I tell you when it affects them. Now, the bail-in is going to affect them, and APRA is going to say this: the financial system needs your money, and they'll say, well, you voted the government in, and by law they passed that law, but it was 7 people on a verbal vote only, on a hands-up vote. So, and it wasn't no video or anything. You don't know who it was, because they don't want you to know which 7 senators voted for that bail-in legislation, because this is like serious shit, right? So then people are going to be writing, and that's where they've got the bollards. They're going to have surveillance. They're going to have facial recognition. The Caitlin broke PSYOP. That was to move a lot of people out, undesirables. They're going to have parts of the city where you won't be able to go. There's going to be checkpoints. It's really going to get really serious. But that's at that point. That's only at the bail-in point. And once then we've lost it then, because then when Deutsche Bank goes down, they're going to say, well, you owe us all this money. So our Australian financial institutions, our AFIs, you should see their debt compared to the government's. It's way high. It's higher than the government's. They're then going to go under. And they go, oh, you haven't got a bank anymore. So where's our money? Well, it was with that bank. So it's a two-step process. I just thought I'd point that out. So yeah, it's going to happen. I think our bail-in, they're not going to do it all at once around the world. They've got the bail-in laws already, but they're going to do country by country. So you're going to have Italy, Ireland, Portugal. Will be in there, around probably the same time as the US, where they will. I think it's going to be in about 2024. I mentioned it in my Wentworth by-election video, where you're going to have 2 terms. The Libs are going to be wiped out, and you're going to have 2 terms of Labor, so the debt's going to be through the roof, and then they're going to say, oh yeah, they're going to be called in, and our AFIs our financial system here is in trouble, so they're going to do the bail-in. So that's around that time, and then after that, Deutsche Bank will collapse and they'll take it. And the reason why I didn't mention in that Wentworth by-election, but one of the reasons why they don't want the Scott Morrison and Abbott, it's part of the same team, in for any time at all. That's why Turnbull, step 1, left straight away. Step 2, put in his stooge Sharma, the Israeli ambassador, to throw the by-election, and they've got Phelps there to win it. That was already pre-planned. As soon as they knew at one point Turnbull was going to be kicked out. So step 3 is she will then be elected, and she will then vote against the government, force a general election. Now, the reason why they're not going to wait till next year is that Turnbull has appointed all of his stooges, his banker stooges, into the heads of all the government departments. So you've got that AFP commissioner, you've got that Gonski, you've got Finkel, all these people that were carefully selected, because really the government is those institutions, those deficits that we vote in and out. They just wander in, get told by these heads of these departments what's going on, and they just collect their money, and they'll vote on things like, and they'll talk about things like gay marriage, or there's a bullying thing, sort of superficial stuff, but trade deals and financial matters, debt, all that sort of stuff. And even like the power, that's why they don't want Finkel's report and Finkel to be kicked off the power, because they want to close down Tomago, because they want to lower GDP. But that's why they won't allow Morrison, or giving them a minimal amount of time. One, so he won't build up voter rapport and get himself re-elected, but 2, that he doesn't turf out of those departments all of Turnbull's banker operatives. So anyway, so I just thought I'd finish off with that. Like I said, I'm not going to get to too many other videos. There's a couple more I might chuck up. I'm not going to do the Bourke because they're laborious and intensive, and there's nothing really much to work with apart from Jimmy just ducking up. The rest of it's just speculation anyway. And yeah, like I said, you could probably go with the fact that it didn't go up Bourke Street, which I don't think it did. Also, PK hypothesised that they could have used 2 cars, and look, that would be just an afterthought. It's not a big deal for them. With all the money they've spent on it, they could easily find one of these model cars. They're the most popular model, and there's still plenty of this year around, and that colour. They could get one for $1,500, stick it up there. And even the number plate, they could just they print the number plates of the Victorian government. They could just print up another number plate and stick it on it and wheel it out from one of those. There's quite a few alleyways up there and hidden garages in that, especially around that intersection. That was where Costa's shop was. See, Costa moved everyone into his shop. He was part of it. So while everyone's in there, they could just wheel their car out, and this car here could be anywhere. Just, they could have driven it anyway. Like I said, there's no video of it after it leaves Swanston. So, who knows? It might have, like the Batmobile, might have just, 5 yards up the road, something flips down, they just move everyone away, it goes in, it's in a garage for, 3 years and paint it and comes back out as a different car. Who knows? Like I said, trying to work out the actual truth behind this, the details of it, it's almost impossible. But what we do know, based on backwards engineering from the outcomes, which will say is laws, which are going to favour them when they shoot us, the bollards, crowd control, surveillance, with the bail-in. We can backwards engineer it, that's what it was for. So that's why we know it's a hoax, plus all the shenanigans here. Anyway, this has gone on long enough. I will, bid everyone good luck. I know I've done this before. Look, you probably think he's coming back. I'd like to actually, but I'm actually toying with deleting this channel altogether, because what happens is I read the comments and I get my interest gets piqued again because people make good comments. So I and supportive comments. So some guy wants me to do Assange. That just quickly on Assange. Now that I've just thought of it, he's learning really quickly that once your use has been finished, no one's gonna. I think he thought, I'll get Trump elected, and then Trump will pardon me, and I'll be fine, and I can leave this embassy. But as he's finding out, either Trump said, praised Assange, thanks for that, but he's I can't get involved with that. Well, he could, but he's not going to. So because he doesn't think Assange is important enough that he wants to compromise his relationship with the actual these idiots running the show in Israel and all that, because they really want to get Assange, because Clinton from back in the mid-90s was teed up to be the president. Obama was the worst president ever, but he would have been the second worst had she got in. So we were blessed that he got in ahead of her. Oh, she had been in. Who knows where the world would be? Not that Trump's much better, but yeah, Trump's just buying a bit of time, and he's got his own agenda. While most of it aligns with theirs, there's some points of difference, and they don't like any points of difference. So anyway, as far as Assange goes, he's going to be dead soon. He might die in an embassy, or as soon as he comes out, he'll die in custody. Oh, he had a heart attack, or something. So there's no real point in going through Assange. He did save the Americans from Clinton, and a lot of Americans were free Assange, but everyone's forgotten about him now. And yeah, he's pretty well fucked. So that's my opinion on Assange. I'm not going to do a video on it. There'd be a lot there to look at. These take, some journos just devote, I'm not a journo, but just give the equivalent amount of work to try and investigate something. They'll spend 3 weeks on something on full-time pay, like us. And, on one thing, and there's all these balls in the air at any one time. And, I've just done what I could. I think I'm over 170 videos, so, I can always look back if, when the shit hits the fan and say, well, I tried. But like I said, it was pretty futile anyway. People will only act when it affects them at that particular point in time. So, but it was, it's been very rewarding, even though it didn't wake enough people up to change things. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, just go back to no dislikes on this, and yet, I've had a reasonable discussion or difference of opinion, and that's what sort of you get with the truth community. Just normal, reasonable, sensible, alert people, and that's the kind of people you are. You want to associate with them, so it's been good. Okay, that's it.